fourth noble truth. Who wants any more of the first couple? And yet they all hang together. Of course they do. The first noble truth, as we've suggested, is the truth of suffering, of dissatisfaction. And the second noble truth is, well, what's the cause of that? Let's look at the cause of that. And the third noble truth is it's possible to reduce suffering. It's possible, which is great news, of course. Yeah, it'd be a whole other story if there was nothing we could do about it at all, right? But the fourth noble truth is, okay, here's the treatment plan. So we have the diagnosis, the etiology or the cause. The prognosis, it's a good prognosis. It's possible to do some healing, growing, changing, shifting, shaping, reshaping, reconditioning. And then the fourth noble truth is the treatment plan. Great. Let's do it. Let's go. That's what we want. There's a promise that suffering can be reduced. Who doesn't want that? We all want that. And of course, the treatment plan is kind of exhaustive. It's a behavioral, cognitive, and affective feeling treatment plan. Yeah, it covers all the bases, the Eightfold Path, right? The Eightfold Path. Yeah. And to take up the fourth noble truth, it does matter. And we've been spending a long time on the fourth noble truth. Because we're going to go through each of the eight as well. Each of the eight folds. Some of us like to think of less right and more skillful, more skillful, less skillful, which is helpful. And if that's a better translation for you, I like it more a lot of the time. More skillful, so that we don't get caught into a whole morality drama in quite the same way as we may have been caught in previously in our experience, but more skillful, less skillful. Yeah? And how do we move toward what we will often say, we'd like to be more deeply at home. We'd like to be more deeply at home, wouldn't we? And part of it this path depends on the recognition that we don't feel deeply content. Yeah? And it requires a certain self-honesty and a certain inventory already. And that's what the first couple of truths are about. But it continues here. We have to do a more thorough inventory and take a look at every piece. But the general piece is this: have all of our dreams come true? What's going on? In the middle of the night when I wake up, am I comfortable? Am I comfortable, deeply comfortable in my own being? Even after all these years and all the ways that I've grown and learned and accomplished so many things, but at the end of the day, when I really check in, is it true that there is dis-ease or dissatisfaction kind of running through like it's part of the warp and woof somehow of my life? How is it? Of course we want to be more content. Of course we do. And so these eight folds, right understanding or right view. I won't say too much about them now. Well, what does that mean? Right understanding and right view. Of course, that again means let's take a look at the views we already have and see how they're working. See even what they are. What are we already attached to? What are we already identified with? What are the underlying belief systems and assumptions that are actually guiding our lives already? But we don't necessarily give a lot of thought to them. What is it? What am I whispering into my own ear all day long? And right intention. Right intention is the second one. The intention, what is right intention? It's the intention to line up more with harmlessness, with non-harm, yeah? And to understand the causes, a little bit more, the causes of suffering, the causes, and to see how I'm participating in all of that a little bit more, maybe in ways that I wasn't seeing. Right intention. And then we have the right speech and right action and right livelihood. Right? We have all of those. What do those have to do with being content? You know, I want to get onto the real good stuff, you know, because then there's right effort, right concentration, and right mindfulness. You'll notice right mindfulness is the eighth. You notice that? It's not the first. It's not the fourth. It's the eighth. Is that how we were taught? That it's the eighth? I don't think so. Not over here. We want the wisdom right away. Let's just skip over all that other stuff. Well, I'm speaking for myself. You know, you can check in and see. But it was like, you know, maybe they needed more of that other stuff 2,600 years ago. But you know, I don't need any of that. It's more mindfulness. That's what leads to wisdom. That's what I want to do right now. Just the other things, maybe they're kind of, I see they can be a little bit relevant, but they'll just fall into line all by themselves if I'm more mindful. It's a very profound, I think, misconception, misunderstanding, or just not fully understanding the whole matrix, the whole context of these practices. And so many of us found ourselves backpedaling into the other seven. When we realized, you know, that mindfulness thing, it's great, but you know, I'm still uptight. I'm still cranky. I still get irritated so much. I still have so much self-judgment. I still have so much judgment of others. I'm still, there's all this, I thought mindfulness was going to take care of all this. I still say things that I regret. I'm still, and so on. This is literally how it worked. We said, oh, maybe let's take a look at those other seven. You know? Yeah, so it's like that. It's a thorough inventory. And just like, you know, again, none of these, we're kind of familiar with all of them. We're kind of familiar with a lot of what we address, you know, and even in these morning sessions, you know, but it's like taking a closer look. Let's zoom in a little bit more just on this area, and then this area, and then this area. And what do you see? What do you discover? Well, I never did that in the old days with any of these, you know. And so that's what we'll do. And we'll take these up with care, you know, and kind of hold. I love the image of holding something up to the light and turning it around and looking at it from a number of different angles, you know, something lovely, something beautiful. Have you done this, right? Yeah, it could be something that you're holding in your hand, like an exotic flower, beautiful exotic flower, you know, just the way we just really look with care. You know, what is it? Oh, I didn't notice that. Like that. It's really like that. You know, as I go like this, we talk so often, it's about going from this kind of observation, you know, to this. What's going on in here? You know? And so really that's what we're going to continue to do with the fourth noble truth. You know? This is the path. This is the path. This is the treatment. The treatment plan, you know. This is the direction. So we check in and we see do ehi passiko all along the way. Does this make sense? What makes sense? Nobody else is in here. I have to take a closer look with discernment. What's going on in here? Oh, it really is like that the whole way through. That self-honesty, yeah, which is humbling as well. Yeah, yeah. What do I want to hold on to? What do I want to let go of? How would I do that? How would I? Etc.